So come to standing. Just lift your toes and then place the toes down again. Press the feet into the earth. Lift and roll the shoulders. Bring the hands to the chest and circle the hands up. Stretch up and then circle the hands down, soften the knees. We're going to do this a few times. Breathing in, stretching up and circling, and again. Bring the hands back through the center. And again, soften the knees and circle up and circle the wrists down. Lift and roll the shoulders. Hands to the heart. And then bend the knees, circle, come up, stretch up. Breathing out, open the hands outwards as an extension of the heart center. Turn the palms up and subtly lift the chin. If that's not great, then just look forward. And then just breathe out, soften the knees, and come forward to hold both elbows. Once you're down, you can begin to extend your knees so that the hips are high. Again, if that doesn't suit you, then keep your knees bent. Taking an in and an out breath. And then soften the knees, drop the hips, let the hands go and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then breathing in, turn the head to the left. And breathing out, turning the head to the right. And just a couple of times in your own breath pattern. In to the left, and then out to the right. And then come back to the center. And then step your feet a little bit further apart, stretching the hands out. And start slowly at first, but then move to your own breath pattern. You might like to follow your eyes with your hands. You follow your eyes, follow your hands. You twist one side and then to the other. Start an exaggerated movement first, and then start to move to your own pattern. Moving all 5 energies. And then begin to start to slow it down. And then come to stand still. Lift and roll the shoulders. Bring the feet together. And then come to the top of the mat. Hands together at the heart center again. Circle the hands up, stretch up. Come through the center with the hands, soften the knees. Half lift. Breathing out, curl in. Half lift again. Stay here as you breathe out. And then pressing the feet into the ground, roll up once more to standing. Stretching the hands up, straight, looking ahead or up. And then bringing the hands back through the center. Circling the arms up, stretching up. Hands together, come through the heart center. Bend the knees and bring the hands to either side of your feet, stepping back with your right foot. stretching out for a moment and then lowering the right knee to the ground. Come for a moment up onto your fingertips. If that doesn't work for you, then just stay where you are and look ahead. So your touch on the ground is lightly lifting the weight away from your hands, and then just come to relax and slide the left foot back. Breathing in, dipping the back and looking either along the mat or up, and breathing out, rounding the back, chin comes to the chest. And again, breathing, dipping the back, and breathing out, rounding, chin to chest. And again, just dipping the back, and rounding, chin to chest. Come to bring your bottom towards your heels. You might like to open your knees a little bit wider and stretching out. Imagine the breath connecting to the kidneys, breathing into the kidneys, and then come back to kneeling and slide forward onto your tummy, come onto your elbows, and come into Sphinx Pose, pressing the elbows down, moving yourself towards your hands a millimetre and looking up or down along the mat, whatever works for your neck. Just taking an in and an out breath here. And then slide the hands back to either side of your chest. Elbows are up. Press down with your hands and come back to kneeling. Tuck the toes. And if you want to avoid downward dog, just come to a standing and walk to the top of the mat in your own time. Otherwise, come to a downward dog. Walk the dog by bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Tummy in, look towards your navel and have your hips high. And then very gently walk one foot, then the other. Maybe your hands come back a little bit to walk to the top of the mat. Soften your knees, press your feet down, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Raising the hands up, stretching up, and breathing out to lower the hands. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart center. Breathing in, stretching up, and almost back. Bring the head to upright, palms together, and come through the center as you bend your knees, hands to either side of your feet. Step back with your left foot. Your left foot is high, your left leg is extended for a moment. Lower the left knee to the ground. And just come up on your fingertips if that's available to you, looking forwards. And then slide your right leg back to kneeling. And then once more dipping the back, looking forward or up. Breathing out, rounding the back. Breathing in, dipping the back. And breathing out, rounding. And then this time with your bottom high, come to have your right arm coming across you, palm down, palms down. You might need to bring your bottom back a little bit, stretching out the left arm. So you're stretching, it's that quarter dog, stretching out your left side. Your forehead might be off the ground, it might be on the ground. Just Bring your bottom back far enough that you've got that stretch on your left side. Tummy in, breathing in, engage the perineum slightly, and then release as you breathe out. And then sliding the left arm back, come on to tabletop again, and then bring the left arm across you and extend the right arm, bottom again high, but bring it back so that you get that more optimal stretch along the right side. Tummy in, lower abdominal muscles engage as you breathe in, and relax as you breathe out. And then slide your right hand back, come back once more to tabletop. And then open your knees and come to child's pose. You can either stretch your arms in front of you or come to the more classic balasana and just adjust your knees to how you feel comfortable with the palms up to the ceiling. And again, you're breathing into your kidneys, you're also stretching the lower back. You can engage the tummy, the lower abdominal muscles in as you breathe in if you want to, and breathing out. Relax. And then very gently roll up, coming to all fours, and then slide forward once more onto the mat in Sphinx Pose. Press your elbows down. Look either down at the mat or ahead. Pressing your elbows down, just pull yourself slightly towards your hands. And then just come to lying and open your elbows to the side. Rest your hands, rest your head, your forehead, either face down on your hands. If you prefer to turn your head sideways, that's fine too. Just be comfortable. And then just widen your knees slightly. Bring the soles of the feet to the ceiling and just sway the feet gently from side to side. At any point, if you want to turn your head to face the opposite side, then please do that, or carry on looking down. Just a slight rocking of the soles of the feet from side to side. And then come to the center and circle the feet a couple of times, the ankles in one direction. And then circle the ankles a couple of times in the opposite direction. And then release the feet back down to the earth. Bring the knees slightly towards one another. And then stretch the arms out in front of you so that you really are doing an extension, but on your tummy you're stretching your arms out. Head down. Take an in and an out breath. And then slide the hands back to either side of your chest, elbows in, to press down, to come back to kneeling. We're going to come eventually to standing, so if you want to do an alternative cat-cow and come to standing however you want to, please do. But otherwise we're going to tuck the toes underneath,
and come to one downward dog once more. Lengthening the back and then beginning to extend the legs. You can bring your feet closer to you, you can widen your feet. Walk the dog, maybe. Your hips are high. And just look towards your navel to help with that lift. Tummy in, perineum engages. And then soften the knees and then walk very gently, one foot and then the other foot towards one another. Soften your knees, just let the hands go onto the ground, letting the thighs support your back. And then drop the hips and roll very gradually up, vertebra by vertebra, to standing. Lift and roll the shoulders, breathing in to the left, out to the right, in to the left, and out to the right. And then palms together. We're going to come to a seated position, so bending your knees and come to a seated position, however that works for you. Stretching the feet out in front of you and note to start to move that in the future, and then just bounce your legs, rub or pat, whatever works for you. You can do your arms, just weight the body up. And then once more come to hands on the ground, toes up and toes away a couple of times. And circle once more, and again the other way. And then hug the right knee into the chest. You might want to have your right foot out a little bit to the right and open the right knee to the right. If you need any support under your leg, just say. And then just hands to either side of you. Extend the left toes upwards. Turn the body to the left side. Raise your hands up. I'm joining my thumbs to turn me a little bit more, tummy in. And then bend the elbows to slide the hands along the left leg. Very soft head to knee pose, or Janushirasana. Opens your hip, to forward bend and a rotation. You might find that you slide your fingers down, your hands down a little bit more. You might be able to take hold of your left foot. Just relax to be wherever you're comfortable. And coming forward like this, the breath gets directed once more into the back of the body. So connect to your kidneys as you breathe in. Feel, it's hard, but you might feel that you're lengthening and moving with your chest, and then just relax forward. And then very gently slide the hands up the back of up the front of the left leg. And I'm having a crisis of confidence which hand it is. So bring your right hand down and look up to your left thumb. Mindfulness is the eyes looking up, disconnect from the stress centers of the brain as I understand it. And then lower your left arm and bend the left leg up so that you're in a double V. The aim would be to have both bottom cheeks on the ground, but that's not happening with me. You can have a support if you need to. to assist that. Lengthen your body and turn towards your right knee. And then walk your hands forward, coming over your right knee a little bit. Or you can come over a lot. You can have the hands one on top of one another, resting your forehead, or make fists to bring you slightly higher up. This double V position is one of the 5 perfect hip health poses. And then tummy in, engage the perineum again, press your hands down and come back up to upright. Come to have your hands to either side of you. Bring both knees up. Hug into your chest slightly for a moment, just extending and stretching the lower back. And then just very gently support yourself under your thighs to stretch the legs out. Lift the bottom underneath your bottom if you need to, just to secure yourself. Just sit up again in Dandasana. And then I'm just trying to think, legs open in a slight V, bending up your left leg. Extending your right leg, your right toes upwards, and then turn to face your right leg. Hands to either side of you to lengthen the body. Breathing in, raising the hands up, maybe hold the thumbs together, and then turning just once more to face the right leg. Bend the elbows to soften your descent for your lower back. And slide your hands along your right leg to wherever works for you. You might find that your hands just extend a little bit further as you relax into the pose. And then very gently, tummy in, lower abdomen comes in. Slide the hands up the right leg. Place the left hand behind you and raise your right hand up to the ceiling, looking up at the right thumb. And then lowering the right hand, bend your extended right leg up so you're in a double V on the other side. Just hands to either side of you, and before we come forward, just turn the head to one side and to the other, and again to one side and then to the other side, and again to one side and then the other side, and then come back, and then just tummy in and just walk. You can stay up or you can come down, whatever works for you. You can sometimes squash your tummy if you come down too low, but maybe use your hands as fists to rest your forehead on the ground. And again, very easy, perfect hip health. you're ready, tummy comes in towards the spine. Press your hands down. Come to bring yourself to upright, hands to either side of you to support you. And then bring your legs out. Again, just wriggle if you need to for your bottom. And just bounce, maybe rub, pat the legs again. Massaging around the knee joint, sides of the arms. And then just sitting up, cross your right ankle over your left. Raise your left arm and bring your left arm to the outside of your right thigh, your right hand behind you. And just lightly pressing down with your hand to lengthen the body, breathing out, turn to the right. You can turn a little bit or you can turn a lot. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And when you're ready, come back. Hands to either side of you to support and lengthen you as you take your right ankle off. Just bounce your legs. And then bring your left ankle over your right. Lengthen by lightly engaging your fingers or your hands to the ground. And then raise your right hand to bring it to the outside of the left thigh. Left hand behind, lengthen the body as you breathe in, and breathing out, turn a little bit or a lot. Any rotation is balancing or realigning from the spine. But the trick is to make sure the rotation is within the capability of everyone and feels comfortable. It's again one of the movements for the back for perfect health. Rotation. And then very gently come back. Hands to either side to support you to take the left ankle off the right. Bounce the legs. And then breathing in, raising the hands up, stretching up. Maybe hold the thumbs again. And breathing out, tummy in. Bend the elbows and come forward into the classic forward bend to neutralize the rotation that we've made. And again, where your hands stay on the shins is up to you. You might like to hold your big toes. That's really dependent on your arm length, I think. Or just hold your ankles or hold wherever. Have a sense as you breathe in of lengthening, leading from the chest. And then relax and just curl around your back slightly. The chin naturally here comes into the chest. And that engages the vagus nerve, which is very much implicated in calming the system down if it's engaged. A forward bend anyway is calming for the nervous system. And again, your breath naturally is focusing in a slightly different level towards the back. And then very gently sliding the hands up the legs and come into a very familiar cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana. Have you got any lovely thoughts for the day and your feet, any areas to focus on? A cure-all, just panacea of something.
I thought we think the aesthesis, which is wonderful actually at the time, the solar plexus, which is so the base of the balls of your feet in the middle, where the soft bit is. So it's the point sort of there.
Okay,
So you've got the bone of your
the
walls
massaging
of
your feet here.
yeah,
feel
and
there's,
then you've got like a soft bit in the middle. There's one bone, two bone, then the soft bit in the middle. Yeah. And that's the reflex point for your solar plexus, which is obviously the centre of all your anxiety, which you feel in the middle there. And so rubbing that, or doing both at the same time is probably a better idea. Just gently. You press it down quite hard, you can actually feel a slight sort of zing
Yes.
feel in your feet. That means you've actually touched the point
Okay.
underneath. And if it hurts a bit, sometimes if you're feeling a bit anxious or whatever, that it hurts, does hurt a bit more. But just gently, it's very relaxing. It's quite nice to do this before you go to bed. If you've got some cream on your feet, just have a little massage of your feet and massage that area. It's quite nice, quite relaxing before you go to bed.
That's nice. We forget about our feet. They do all the hard work for us.
Yeah.
Carrying
They
us
always say if your
around.
feet aren't right, you ain't right.
Yes, I'm sporting 2 blisters from 2 pairs of shoes. One
no.
did my little toe in, so my lovely walking boots,
Yeah.
and then this one did the other one in. So
Yeah, it's so
Like-
painful, aren't they?
I was just like, what's going on with me at the moment? So just enjoy massaging your feet. While you're doing that, of course, your hips are open, your inner groin is open. If you wanted to be classic about this, you would hold your big over your big toes or your ankles and just bounce your knees. It's said to distribute the prana, or the energy gathering at the lower abdominal, lower chakra levels upwards and diffusing and distributing through the body, but whatever. And then just enjoy your Baddha Canal. So you're giving blood again to this area as you're opening it, to your lower hip area, your hip groin area. The low lymphatic system is kind of space for that to
Yeah. So while you're there, if you do your thumbs in a circular motion around your ankle bones, inside is probably easier at this. That's the reflex point for your lower lymphatic system.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So it's on the outside and the inside, but sitting like this, it's easier just to do it. So if you just do little pressing circles all around your ankle bone in a sort of motion all the way around.
Such a shame you don't do exercise any longer. It's just like, oh,
I kill everyone with my long nails.
it's just lovely to have that. So just,
Yeah, so that's so that ties in with the way that you're sitting. It helps the lower lymphatic system.
so just lingering there for a moment before we're going to very gently come to leave that area, come to just bring the knees up, come slightly forward again, just calming the system. And then we're going to come to what I call high kneeling, if your knees will cope with that. So drop your knees to the side, come to a high kneeling position, feet and knees slightly hip width apart maybe, and raising the arms up, clasp the hands in reverse, and then if you can look up then do, if not look ahead, choose what's more comfortable and go to the left, so extending, stretching the right side, lift up from the waist and the pubic bone, come to the centre, stretch up, and then of course go to the right side, so you're stretching your left side. Go to the right, stretching the left side. And coming back up, stretching up, slide the hands down, and then just come to, for a moment, a slight forward bend, just almost like a half child, just to release that stretch. While we're here, you can stay here, or you can bring your hands back to your knees, elbows in, lift slightly up with your bottom. This is optional, you might not like it. And just bring your head, your crown of your head lightly on the floor, your weight of your hands is supporting you're not putting any pressure, and you're just rolling very lightly over the crown of your head. So you're stimulating the crown chakra, and if you want to just slightly move your bottom from side to side, I'm sure Sue would tell you that there are some acupressure points all around there. So it's an area of the head that we don't often get to stimulate. In headstand it's stimulated, but of course you can risk knackering your neck out, whereas here the weight very much stays within your control, so you're not, as I said, compromising your neck at all. And then just very gently come back to child's pose, stretching maybe the arms in front of you, or classic, palms up, just for a couple of breaths. And then very gently come, we're going to come to lying on our backs, and hugging the knees into the chest. Just rocking from side to side. And then hugging the knees into the chest and letting the knees drift away to arm's length. And just do that a few times in your own breath pattern. And then come to holding your knees still. And we're going to bring our legs upright to the ceiling, but you can do that by supporting under your thighs. When your legs are up, you can hold behind your calves if you want to, or behind your ankles if you want to. Your knees can be bent. Again, this comes, I think, down purely to arm length. If you've got the arm length, then you can hold your big toes, but just be comfortable. And you can stay with your harder, your ankles together, a little bit apart, or you can just widen out and just rock from side to side, holding anywhere on the backs of the legs. Just a very gentle rock from side to side. It's a freestyle, it's an inversion. Again, one of the perfect back health movements for inversion, and also downward dog is classified in that sense as an inversion as well. Gives a chance for the blood to start to reverse. Balancing the hormonal system, and I'm sure I've said before, legs up the wall is a very nice way to do that as well. And then very gently bend the knees, and once more just gently rock from side to side. And then supporting the legs, perhaps underneath, bring the feet back down to the ground. Palms might like to come on your abdomen, or palms down, and just rock from your knees from side to side. You can bring your head to join in. Don't worry whether your head goes in the direction towards your knees or away from your knees. Doesn't matter. Just give your weight, the movement to the weight, the gravity, you're really just sinking into the earth. And then you might like to widen your feet slightly so that the knees join. It's called Constructive Rest. And just place your hands on the abdomen. And breathing, will be your own breath pattern. If you can, breathe in and breathe out to the count of 5. So you're breathing in for 5, your 5, and a very slight pause, and you're breathing out for 5. So it's beginning to slow your breath down to, mathematically I'm not great, 6 breaths a minute, which is the optimal breathing time for calm and having a very beneficial impact on the body. So your breath work, breathing in for 5 and breathing out for 5. And then very gently let the hand drop. Notice how you feel. Relax your facial muscles. And feel that someone's smoothing across your brows, your eyebrows, and smoothing across your forehead. Imagine breathing in through the nostrils and breathing out through the back of the head, around the neck area. Breathing in through the nostrils and breathing out through the back of the head, back of the high neck muscles, just breathing out. Breathing in through the nostrils and breathing out through the back of the head. And then very gently come to hug your knees into the chest. Just circle your ankles again in one direction and then circle them in the other direction. And then just rub your feet together, doesn't have to be precise, connecting you to where we are, reality. And then very gently come to roll to one side or come to a seated position, however that works for you. Come once more to breathe into the left as you look to the left, breathing out to the right, into the left, out to the right. Come to the center, taking in and an out breath. And just take a moment to have a thought for the day, setting your intention or your sankalpa. It can be for yourself or for anyone close to you, wishing them well, whatever works for you. And mentally then repeat that, once you've done that, let that thought go, your intention has been set. And then imagine, pick a colour, and imagine that you're cocooning and surrounding yourself like an auric egg in that colour, your colour choice of today. So that auric egg cocooning you for the day ahead confers protection, only allowing positive things in. And that will be set again like your sankalpa for the rest of the day. Bringing your hands to your heart. Take a bow for yourself. And thank you. And then if